Hello! You are watching the Video Voters Guide, organized by the League of Women Voters of Portland. All candidates who filed for this race were invited to participate in the Video Voters Guide. However, there are many reasons during a campaign why a candidate may be unable to appear. For comprehensive coverage by the League, including information on candidates who might not have been available for a video interview, visit vote411.org. Information is available in both English and Spanish. Candidates may choose to include additional information on Vote 411, such as their own YouTube videos. Watch, share, and be an informed voter.
Hello, this is Haley McLaughlin with the League of Women Voters of Portland, and with me today is Deian Salazar, running for the David Douglas School District Position 3 in the May 18th special election. Welcome, Deian.
Glad to be here.
So, first off, what does being a supporter of public education mean to you?
To me, education is a basis of all society, and our youth deserve the best education they can get because that gives them a head start in the world today. In David Douglas, we have had inequitable opportunities for low-income families, working families, and communities of color for several years now. And though we have gained a lot of representation on the board, our mission is still not complete, and I aim to change that.
Great. What do you think is the biggest challenge facing our public schools right now, and what is your plan to address it?
One of our biggest challenges is that the fact that we're going to be having budget cuts in the near future, funding cuts. And with that will create a budget crisis, and people will be tempted to slash the budget in order to compensate for the low funding so we don't get into as much debt. But in my opinion, there are several critical programs that cannot be cut, and we must fight that basic instinct because it is our children's future and our future's future that we are fighting for. Thus, I would be fighting any budget cut and any cut to any critical program or any community in need that we provide support to in an effort to keep the funding as is and to further expand funding for critical programs such as mental health programs, and other such things.
How are our schools planning to ensure that students graduate with the knowledge and skills they need to be college and career ready?
So the David Douglas School District has had quite a large gap in regards to students of color and white students, and that is something that I would wish to close, because I think that this is not due to the students of color's inherent abilities. I think that it's due to a system built on an outdated apparatus and mode of operation. And I think that we could do a lot by ending standardized testing, restructuring homework, as well as providing students the support that they need in a way that both respects and dignifies them and does not expect any less of them just because of their background. I think that every student deserves to be treated with dignity, respect, and deserves to be treated equally no matter their status. As a person with disability myself, since I have autism, I find it very important to emphasize in the school's culture the equity and dignity that we expect all students and all people to be treated with.
Thank you. What district actions do you believe would be most effective at reducing the learning gaps of minorities? Are there partnerships you could use to help reduce those minority learning gaps?
Yes, I think that one of these is union apprenticeships. I think that union apprenticeships could help give students a head start economically and show them that there are people willing to fight for them in the adult life after they graduate, and that they are not alone. This will allow them to fight the economic system that is built not for them, but for wealthy, higher educated elites, rich elites that don't work as hard as most of our students do in our district. one of the other things I want to do is to help end standardized testing and to restructure homework, because let's start on standardized testing. So standardized testing came about a few decades ago, but it really ramped up with the No Child Left Behind program by George W. Bush. And I think that that program, while it had potentially good intentions, I think has been a disaster for a community. And I think that does not adequately reflect the abilities of the students, nor does it reflect their potential for future success. I think that we must end it because it puts pressure on students with anxiety and stress and does not adequately reflect their potential or skills in any way. And I want to restructure homework for that same reason, because both standardized testing and homework really promote memorization more than critical thinking. And critical thinking is something that we lack. Just look at anti-vaxxers, QAnon, stuff like that. We need to really focus on critical thinking and how to really educate our students, not just on a level that they forget in a few years, but on a level that they take with them their whole lives, that they can then provide to their students if they become teachers, or their family members and children. That's something that is inherently a really good thing, and one thing that I think that we need to focus on, because if not, we're going to be in for a societal decline due to the decline of education in the next couple of decades because of an outdated, honestly, white supremacist system, in my opinion.
How will you help students heal from the trauma of COVID-19, the losses, the quarantines, economic instability, online learning, etc.?
So COVID-19 really threw a whole wrench in the school system, and it showed just how unprepared our school systems were for this kind of epidemic. And it showed the real gap between students who have the support that they need versus our underrepresented communities. And that is something that we need to fix. I would support, for example, focusing on getting communities of color and BIPOC organizations in negotiations to help write our next policies, to ensure that they have a voice at the table and that they are heard and seen as a key part of the solution. We need to move forward as one community, not just as a board, but that's how we should view our entire reason for existing as a school board as a whole. There can be no equality without communities of color and unions and teachers' unions and parents at the table.
Thank you, Deian, for joining us today. I want to remind our viewers that the special district election will be Tuesday, May 18th. As with all elections in Oregon, we will be voting by mail. The last day to register is Tuesday, April 27th. Ballots will be mailed beginning Wednesday, April 28th, and must be received by Tuesday, May 18th at 8 p.m. Postmarks do not count. Please plan to mail early or use a drop-off site. Additional information about races and other election information is available at the League-sponsored website, vote411.org. Please be an informed voter and share this resource with your friends and family. Thank you for joining us today.